welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. And before we get into any ranking stuff, just want to wish a very happy Thanksgiving to everybody who checks us out here at Prime Sports World. Hopefully you and your family have a very nice Thanksgiving. On today's episode of The Prime, we're going to be giving you our fantasy football rankings for week number 13. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point. Up and right there is Izzy Rivera. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Welcome into the show. How are you, buddy?
Doing good, man. It's Blackout Wednesday, man. You know what I mean? So we're in prime full effect the day before Thanksgiving. You know, not drinking, but for everybody who is, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. I gotta work tomorrow real early, so no drinking for me this year, unfortunately. And I love Blackout Wednesday. It's one of my favorite holidays. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately. Also, before we get into the rankings, just want to give you a shout out. Congratulations on your first victory in the Greatest People at my expense. So, kudos to you.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, man. J-Bo went off, man. He threw a couple, caught one. I mean, yeah, it was really good. I forget who else on my team that was unexpected. I had some real good gems. I mean, like some late pickups. I mean, one of my leagues, I picked up. I started Wan'Dale Robinson over
nice.
Dallas Goedert. You know what I mean? And then the big one is the big one was just Jahmyr Gibbs, who's we don't even got to talk about who's the number one fantasy getter this week. It's him. You know, he single-handedly won me a matchup.
He single-handedly won the Lions that football game, for us to be honest. Like, without Jahmyr Gibbs, we're having a much different conversation here on this Wednesday afternoon.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. If you have any comments or questions about anything fantasy related, drop them down in the comments section. We'll answer them as we go through the show. But yeah, week number 13 fantasy football rankings. First, we get into it. Let's talk a little bit about some injuries. A little bit lighter on the injuries for this week than we've had in the last couple weeks. But this week we got Baker Mayfield day-to-day. Probably not going to play in their game against the Arizona Cardinals. Teddy Bridgewater is getting all the number one team reps. So Teddy Bridgewater is probably the guy, if you're looking for somebody you're desperate, Teddy Bridgewater is somebody I would pick up and potentially play in place of Baker Mayfield. T. Higgins will not play tomorrow night. He has a concussion. If you're looking for some people to replace him, you got Andre Yoshivas and Mitchell Tinsley, who's solidly had a pretty solid season there for the Cincinnati Bengals. Has caught a couple of touchdowns when wide receivers were out for the Bengals, and T. Higgins will not play. They're going to get Jamar Chase back. Yoshivas and Tinsley are options there. And Alvin Kamara has a sprained MCL. Not totally clear if he's going to play in that game on Sunday afternoon. But if you're looking for somebody to replace him, Devin Neal is the backup running back and got a majority of the touches after Alvin Kamara went out on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. But yeah, nothing crazy this weekend. Also on the injury front, Josh Jacobs is expected to return. Some other notable players, if you're a fantasy owner of Bucky Irving is expected to finally make his long-awaited return to the field. Isaiah Pacheco, Joe Burrow is expected to also return on Thursday night. Some big-time names returning to your lineup. Marvin Harrison, I think he's probably going to return after missing 2 weeks. Trey Benson, eligible to return off the IR. DeMarcado is supposed to come back as well. Brian Thomas Jr. Expected to return, but he hasn't been remotely good for the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. So if you still own him, he's probably safer on your bench. And then this guy, you're probably not playing in fantasy, but J.J. McCarthy in the protection protocol. Undrafted rookie Max Brosmer is going to get the start for the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday afternoon.
Doesn't ring a bell. Max Brosmer.
I don't know
where he came. Where did he come from?
I have no
what
idea.
college you go to?
You're the guy who knows this stuff. I don't know.
I don't know who he is. Who is he? I don't know. I
cannot answer that question. You're on your own. I have no idea.
Ring a bell. You know, funny that you brought up Brian Thomas Jr. because if he happens to not go or not be 100% or somehow, if he does play and then tweaks his injury, I mean, Parker Washington has been pretty good
Yeah, 100%. And then Jacoby Myers
too.
They
got Brenton Strange back last week. He was pretty good last week for him. So those are guys to look out for.
But let's get into some rankings. Let's talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about them quarterbacks. Number one is Josh Allen. He's going to look to bounce back after a pretty pedestrian performance against the Houston Texans. I think he has a big-time game there for the Buffalo Bills as they look to bounce back against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that he's relatively owned throughout his career so far. Justin Herbert, number 2, going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Should have a good day at the office for the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert. Number 3, I got Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles going up against my Chicago Bears. I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to kind of have a good game here on offense. Jalen Hurts was very much on pace to have a monster game in fantasy this most recent week. If he had kept up his production from the first half to the second half, it just didn't work out that way. Lamar Jackson, number 4, going up against the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow night. Bad defense going up against Lamar Jackson. Also, these two teams tend to have slugfest, absolute shootouts when they play over the last couple of seasons. And then number 5, the league MVP, in my opinion, Matthew Stafford, going up against the Carolina Panthers. Should be a good week at the office for Matthew Stafford. 6th straight May. The New England Patriots going up against the Giants on Monday Night Football. Also tomorrow night, going up against the Dallas Cowboys. I got Patrick Mahomes. I guess it's in the afternoon, not really tomorrow night. Patrick Mahomes going up against the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Got Bo Nix coming off that bye. Pretty nice matchup against the Commanders. Sam Darnold looking for his revenge dagger against his former team, the Minnesota Vikings. Trevor Lawrence at my number 10 spot going up against the Tennessee Titans. And then my outside looking in, I got Joe Burrow. First game back off that turf toe. I would temper my expectations for him just a little bit. But Joe Burrow at number 11 outside looking in. Dak Prescott going up against the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow afternoon. And then Jordan Love also playing tomorrow morning against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. And then my sneaky and daily, Teddy Bridgewater, 4,400. Really cheap for a guy that's going to start and has a pretty favorable matchup against the Arizona Cardinals, who have given up a ton of points over, at least so far, toward the latter part of this season. They have clamped down a little bit, like that game against Dallas, which is kind of an outlier for this defense. But Teddy Bridgewater, 4,400. Pretty good value.
Yeah, man. Teddy Bridge, man. Interesting, right? He goes from, winning a state championship at his old high school.
I think he got fired. I think he got fired.
And then he got fired. Then he gets fired. Yeah, no, but I think they won a championship though before he got fired. Yeah. But he got fired because of some BS stuff. He was getting like his players Uber rides and stuff like that. Come on, he was a good guy. Teddy Bridgewater is the mayor of Miami, unofficially. But to come back and be a starter, be a starter at some point this following season.
Did you see that throw that he made in that? Like it wasn't a completion or nothing. Like he was trying to throw the football away, and like the fact that ball got back to the line of scrimmage just shows you Teddy Bridgewater still got that gap. I did
not see that. I did not see that. I did not see that. Yeah.
It was like the fact that's hanging off of him, like he's going to the ground.
Oh man, I'm dude. He's still kicking it. I thought he would like after that knee injury early in his career. I thought Teddy Bridge would have been done, and he's still like a journeyman, which is totally awesome. Man. Number 1, man, Patrick Mahomes. It's about that time of year where those guys start kicking into high gear. They struggled a bit against Indianapolis, which we all expected. That defense is really good. But they ended up, behind Kareem Hunt's 30 carries. The Kansas City Chiefs, edged it back, and Patrick Mahomes was putting the team on his back. I expect a little bit more out of that. I expect a lot more against one of the worst defenses in the league in Dallas. That one's probably got the potential to be a shootout down there in Big D. Number 2, Lamar Jackson going up against Cincinnati. They're another team, right? Very dangerous. I don't come on the show. I haven't come on the show. I haven't done a Monday, just in a while to recap the games. But Lamar, the Chiefs and the Ravens. I mean, golly, those two teams kicking in a high gear. They're scary teams to be in a wild card matchup. you do not want to see neither one of those teams
no.
in the first round.
If I'm like one of those 2 or 3 seeds, like if I'm the New England Patriots or whoever else, I do not want to see either of those 2 football teams on the other side of me coming into week number 2. First week of the wild card weekend, yeah.
Exactly. So Lamar Jackson at number 2, and then we just talked about it. Drake May, he's been absolutely fantastic. At number 3, he's got a really favorable matchup against the Giants. As you saw last week, the Giants defense just really isn't much.
Not good.
And they're just firing everybody. Everybody's getting fired over there. They fired a defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, after the game against Detroit. Yeah. So I totally expect Drake May to do some things. And number 4, Josh Allen. You're right. After coming off that 6 touchdown performance, he was a bit
pedestrian.
He was thanks, Dave, for sharing that with me. Because I was like, what the hell did he message me during the I'm like, hold on, is my mic on? Josh Allen should bounce back in this game. Number 5, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, man, you're all right. He was having a hell of a game, and then second half kind of tempered down a little bit. That whole offense just in the fourth quarter was just not good. Just couldn't get anything done against the Dallas Cowboys for some reason. They were moving the ball. They just got real complacent, in my opinion. Stopped pushing it, and I think Jalen Hurts, he should have a big game. I think that Chicago game, they're at home. They're real comfortable. I think that Chicago game should be a little bit of an up-and-down affair. That's more of a game, if I came on yesterday, I would say, man, that's a game for the Bears. That's a prove-it game, right? To prove if you're an upper echelon team, to hang with the big boys, Super Bowl champs. To go into Philly and beat them, that's going to be a hell of a game. And number 6, Matthew Stafford, he's been all-world this season. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, we'll get to him later on. They've been fantastic. That whole offense has been fantastic. Sean McVay should probably get him and Shane Steichen should be front runners for Coach of the Year, in my opinion. I think Sean McVay should probably.
I mean, Mike Vrabel. We're just gonna be just.
My bad, Mike Vrabel. Let me not discredit Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I think Mike Vrabel is the front runner for.
You make a good point. Those 3 guys. But at number 7, Joe Burrow coming back off of injury. I'm interested to see how that's gonna go. But I guess I gotta put him at 7, man. He's dangerous. I mean, golly, man. Joe Flacco was, while he was a quarterback at Cincinnati, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I mean, he was as good as you can get for a backup quarterback stepping in. So imagine, Joe Burrow getting this guy back, Jamar Chase. He won't have T. Higgins, but we'll see how Joe Burrow's. What is it? The turf toe? Turf toe? Yeah,
turf toe.
Those are rough, man. All right, Bo Nix at number 8. Bo Nix. That's a pretty damn good matchup against Washington. They're pretty much out of contention. Not very good this year. I like that matchup. That probably should be over with. They should probably start running the football. They'll probably start running the football by midway through the third quarter. A lot. I expect Bo Nix to have
RJ Harvey should have a good game at the end.
Number 9, Justin Herbert. Right on my top 10. I got Sam Darnold having another favorable matchup with Minnesota. They have a really favorable schedule down the stretch. So I would ride, if you have a 2-quarter, I'd ride Sam Darnold down the stretch in the fantasy football playoffs heavily. Because they have, besides playing the Rams or that's your plan. We're not even gonna get into the drama. Anyways, I'm outside looking in. We got Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, and Jared Goff, and then I did something special just on Thanksgiving for FanDuel. I did the turkey slate, right? Because there's a Thursday. There's always a Thursday slate, but I'll have fun with it, and I usually keep the Thursday guys out. But since people are probably going to be playing some Thanksgiving fantasy FanDuel, I got an all FanDuel lineup here for cheap skis. So my Turkey Day cheap ski is at 7,300 is Jordan Love, which doesn't seem like he should be a cheap ski, but on Turkey Day, he's definitely a cheap ski at 7,300. I'd ride him against Detroit Lions. He's had great games against them the past couple years. We're going Jordan Love there at 7,300. And at 6,300, I'm riding Teddy Bridge. Teddy Bridge has been, one of those guys to come in and have a game or two Much like Kyle Jameis Winston had
usually one game.
He's due for one. He's gonna get one. He's gonna have a good game this week, I think. Real favorable matchup against Arizona. Should be a high scoring affair. I would love to see them. Man, I mean, God, Emeka Egbuka. I'm not sure if he's 100%, but I'd love to see him, start to, get the ball a little bit more and kind of. I think Teddy Bridgewater will find him. He'll push it downfield like Jameis Winston did with New York Giants last week. So,
moving on from the rock throwers, we're gonna swing over into the running backs. I'll let you go first with yours, and you got Devon Achane at number 1.
Yeah, I do got Devon Achane at number 1. You got him at number 10. Holy smokes!
I mean, we've already seen for majority of the season. I'm just kind of out on Devon Achane this season. So.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. But yeah, I'm going Devon Achane against the New Orleans Saints. I mean, let's keep it a buck, man. They had a bye week. Get a healthier on the bye week. But his
his first 4 games have been incredible. Like
he's
coming off a 40-point game on the last time he touched the football field.
Well, no, it was Buffalo. Against Washington, he had 16.5. He had 21 carries for 120 yards, no touchdowns. So I'm going with that Devon Achane the last 2 weeks. He's going up against a defense that really isn't all that great. So Devon Achane at number 1. I expect him fully to have a great game against New Orleans this week. Number 2, I got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor going up against Houston. Great defense, but still, Jonathan Taylor, they're going to feed him the rock a lot. Jahmyr Gibbs at number 3 coming off of almost a 50-point fantasy game. Jahmyr Gibbs against Green Bay should be money. You have to almost ride. I mean, he should be number 1 pretty much in some people's fantasy rankings, right? Number 4, Christian McCaffrey. He's on pace to have 1,000 and 1,000 this year. But he's going against a very tough defense in Cleveland. So I would kind of pump the brakes a little bit on, he's a must start, but I'm just saying, his usage, if you're doing like fantasy FanDuel,
his usage might be insane right now. So if you have him, you got to start him.
But he's still a top 5 guy, but against Cleveland, it's going to be, Myles Garrett's just all world. I mean, those quick screenplays, which they will get them to, those quick passes. That's where Christian McCaffrey is going to make his money this week in fantasy. At number 5, Derrick Henry, who, yes, you have a right to have him at number 1. He's like a monster against Cincinnati. He also loves playing Jacksonville for some reason. Those 2 teams, he just loves to absolutely destroy. Derrick Henry at number 5. At number 6, I got James Cook. James Cook going up against Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, he's cooled down a bit, in the last few weeks. Before, at Houston, he had 18 points. I can't even say he cooled down a bit. We had 100 yards, but the week before that, he did a lot of his work, catching the football out the backfield. Before that, he was, had 5 fantasy points, but, until as opposed to, what he did in the beginning of the season where he was just absolutely on a roll. James Cook should probably get slowed down a little bit against Pittsburgh.
I think he usually has good games against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's due for one. Like, not that he hasn't been good, but I think he's gonna put up big numbers against the Steelers.
I don't disagree with that, man. I mean, and he's had good fantasy outputs the last 2 weeks. I mean, against Houston, a really good defense on the road. I mean, he's had 116 yards on 17 carries. The guys, he's looking like he's kind of coming back into that first 4 weeks of the season right there, that beginning of the season form. It's getting right into it. At number 7, Bijan Robinson going up against the Jets. Pretty much
right now.
Exactly. Thank you for taking the words out of my mouth. He's their whole offense right now. Right now, Kirk Cousins, if he's in trouble, he's a security blanket. Him and Kyle Pitts. So expect this Bijan Robinson to have a pretty solid game. But the Jets, defense, I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, at number 8, Kyron Williams, 9, Trayvon Henderson, and at number 10, Chase Brown, who should have a little bit, whatever value without, especially getting passes without T. Higgins again. I mean, not sure how much his value is going to swing up with Joe Burrow. I mean, godly. I mean, Joe Flacco was playing pretty damn good football at the quarterback position.
Well, I think it's promising the fact that Chase Brown was able to have the most rushing yards against New England of the season, and then they go up against a Ravens team that kind of can be had in the running game.
Iffy,
So
a little iffy on that, yeah. And then I'm outside looking in. I got Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, who they gave the ball 30 times to.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. Shit, Kareem Hunt, man.
I mean, Isaiah Pacheco is returning to the lineup.
Yeah, but they don't expect him to play that much, though. They're gonna ease him in. But yeah, he should cut into some of that production. But I like Kareem Hunt, man. I mean, if he didn't have that damn fumble, he would have an even better fantasy.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine all the teams
probably would have scored on that one.
Imagine the teams that started Kareem Hunt, right, and lost their fantasy matchup by a point, because of that damn fumble that he had. So it's crazy. Then at number 3, I got the 13th. I got Kenneth Walker, the 3rd, and then my cheap option in for Turkey Day, 6,400 is Kareem Hunt for Thursday slate, and then your overall Sunday slate, I got Woody Marks at 6,400. So
from your running backs to mine, I got Derrick Henry as my number 1 running back. I think he's going to have a good game against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. He's not known for being stout in any particular fashion when it comes to being on the defensive end. James Cook III, he has teams that have good games against Pittsburgh. I think that trend continues against them this weekend. Chris McCaffrey, as I mentioned, he's their whole offense. If they feed him the ball, his touches are unreal. Jahmyr Gibbs, a little bit lower on Gibbs. I think the defense of Green Bay is going to try to limit Jahmyr Gibbs. He's their whole offense right now, and without him, they've looked a little bit lost on offense. They just don't look like the same unit they were earlier this season. And then number 5, feels disrespectful to have Jonathan Taylor down this low, but the Houston Texans defense is big time. I expect them to basically force Daniel Dimes to beat them through the air, and we'll see if he goes out and throws for 300 yards, Daniel Jones, and 3 touchdowns, and you guys lose. Go to the middle of the field, shake his hand, because you earned that one. Jonathan Taylor's not going to beat us. It's going to be Daniel Jones. Bijan Robinson, he's everything for the Atlanta Falcons right now, as long as Drake London continues to be out, which will be the case this weekend as well. 7, Saquon Barkley going against my Chicago Bears. The Bears were giving up a ton of yards in the ground game earlier in the season. They've shored that up a little bit, but I still don't think it's all the way there. Then I got the Williams brothers. I got Javonte and Kyron. Javonte Williams, just the touches for him against Dallas. If he gets into the end zone, totally changes the landscape of his fantasy day. Against the Eagles, too. Like, if he gets in the end zone, man, we're talking about him having a top 10 backs day in that game. He almost had 100 yards rushing. He had a good day at the office. Kyron Williams, game flow just didn't really limit his touches. Also, Blake Corum is sort of eating into his productivity. But Matthew Stafford is just dealing right now in the passing game. And when you got Matthew Stafford dealing the way he's dealing, I don't know how you do anything else besides let him throw the football. 30-2. As I mentioned yesterday, he's the MVP of the league, and I don't think it's close. But Kyron Williams, he's still in the top 10, but he's got to get in the end zone. He's become so touchdown dependent. If he doesn't get in the end zone, they just don't commit to the running game enough, with Blake Corum still being in the mix there. And then, then Devon Achane. I'm probably too low on Achane. He's probably going to have a good game. He's probably going to have a couple touchdowns. I will probably regret this ranking when it's all said and done. And then the outside looking at Travis Etienne Jr. That Jacksonville Jaguars team is kind of going as that run game is with Tootin as well. But Travis Etienne, if he gets into the end zone, good day there. And then I feel really unsure about having Bucky Irving anywhere near my rankings. But it does sound like he's going to play. He's dealing with some shoulder injuries. He's dealing with a foot injury. He's also sort of dealing with some mental health stuff that I sort of don't want to get into in this show. But it just seems like it's really kind of messy there with Bucky Irving in Tampa Bay. But it does sound like he's going to return to the football field. Hopefully he gets back and he gets right. I have him at 12. I own Bucky Irving in a shit ton of leagues in fantasy this season. I'm not starting him probably in the majority of leagues I own him in. I kind of got to see it before I'm willing to roll the dice with him. I don't know how much Rashad White's going to be involved. I don't know how long Sean Tucker is going to be involved in the game. I'm putting Bucky Irving there because I think he makes this offense better, and they really missed his presence in this passing game and in the running game. So I think he's good to go. They're going to feed him the rock, but I wouldn't be shocked if Bucky Irving is even a scratch and doesn't play in this game. And then number 3, Travion Henderson for the New England Patriots. Yeah, he's just been really good. I know that Ramondre Stevenson's returning, but I think you got to go with the hot hand until you proved otherwise. Travion Henderson is a must start in all formats. And then my sneaky and daily, I got DraftKings. I got Tajay Spears of the Tennessee Titans. They've lost another pass receiver in Alec Mayer for that football team. So Tajay Spears kind of comes in as like the third down back, guy who catches passes out of the backfield. Has been semi-productive for Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. At 4,700, pretty cheap in daily. So. Moving on from there, from running backs, let's talk about them wide receivers. And my number 1 is the same as yours, Jackson Smith-Njigba, as he is on his way to breaking Calvin Johnson's record for yards. He's going to get over 2,000 yards potentially in this season. That'll put that record in the stratosphere that will not be touched maybe ever again. And then Puka Nacua. Maybe you never know.
I wouldn't say that. Just we're in the passing era.
I mean, if he gets to 2,000 yards, man, I thought would be like rarefied air, man. Like nobody's even got.
It is rarefied air, but I wouldn't say it wouldn't be broken because we thought Calvin Johnson's record wouldn't be broken.
I will say though, there's probably a pretty high probability that a 18th game or 7, whatever the math is, whatever we have now +1, will be added at some point in the near future. So I imagine that record will not stand forever. But
one thing I want to say about JSN is everything out there just looks so easy for him.
Yeah. Like he's just
looks like
he's open.
It's just so easy. Even when he looks covered, he's
such a smooth route runner too. Like he just looks. He's just such a good football player.
He presses those safeties super hard, gets them on their toes. It just gets them off balance, and he just, like you said, his route running is immaculate. I thought Puka Nacua's route running was pretty damn good. Puka Nacua is just a tough route runner. He just runs in the middle of defenses, bounces off a linebacker. You know what I mean? It's just like, but that guy is just like, he's like Michael Jackson at running routes. He's a smooth criminal now.
And number 2, speaking of which, I got Puka Nacua at number 2. I got the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 3. The secondary is kind of how you have to beat Green Bay. As long as their pass rush doesn't get to you, obviously. 4 Rasheed Rice of the Kansas City Chiefs going up against that Dallas defense. 5 Jamar Chase. Yeah, it might be too low on Jamar Chase. I see where you have him over there. But I think he's going to become a target machine in that game. I probably should have him at number 1 or number 2 because he's going to have a billion touches in this game. Number 6, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, dropping touchdowns in back-to-back weeks for the Dallas Cowboys and for my freaking fantasy team. One of those drops actually cost me a matchup last week, 2 weeks ago. Number 7, A.J. Brown. 8, Ladd McConkey. Man, you know, one of the greatest people, I started that season 6-2. I've lost 4 weeks in a row. Like, I'm not sure what's happening to my fantasy football
I don't even
team
know how you lost. I don't even know how you lost to my team. Chris Olave has been on a freaking tear lately.
It's a whole nother thing. That's annoying. Ladd McConkey at number 8. Zay Flowers at number 9 of the Baltimore Ravens. I expect him to have a good game tomorrow night on Thanksgiving. Expect him to feast on Thanksgiving, if it were. Stephon Diggs on Sunday on Monday Night Football going up against the New York Giants. And then my outside looking in, I got Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins, and then I'm cheating my system here a little bit. I couldn't decide if I wanted Devontae Adams or George Pickens at number 13, so I put them both. Sue me. And then my sneaky and daily as Adonai Mitchell had 7 targets in that game against Baltimore, 3,600 for him in daily. He does have a touchdown now since he joined the Jets. 7 targets is pretty good value. I know he's only caught 3 of them in that game against Baltimore, but I like him in daily. I rolled the dice on him, Adonai Mitchell. So.
Yeah. JSN number one, yeah, for me. We talked about him a little earlier, and then Jamar Chase, yeah, at number two. Yeah, like David said, he's gonna get probably 1 million touches in this game. Joe Burrow's gonna find him as often as possible. No T Higgins. That could be a gift and a curse a little bit, right? You know, he could probably get he'll probably be bracketed like 2-3 guys all game, and that'll open up Yoshi Bosch and some of the other guys. But yeah, I expect Jamar Chase, especially if he gets those one-on-ones at some point, which will be very far and few between on the offense. He should be getting that ball. Number 3, yeah, Puka Nacua. Man, he's just been amazing, man, all year long. I mean, he's probably, him and JSN have been the absolute best wide receivers in the game. Last week, I mean, his target share is, incredible. I mean, the only thing that, was stopping him from having a really big fantasy game is a touchdown. Yeah. And then at number 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who did have a pretty damn good game. If I'm not mistaken, he had about 25. Well, in one of my leagues, it was 25 fantasy points. He had 20 fantasy points. Yeah, 20. Yeah, 20.9. Well, I'm looking at Fantasy Pros. It looks like 20-something.9. But yeah, 149 yards, a touchdown. He was amazing. Rashee Rice at number 5, going up against Dallas. And then I got George Pickens, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams has just been playing. It's crazy because at this point in his career, now he's playing Robin to somebody else's Batman, right? Yeah. And he's been a hell of a Robin next to Puka Nacua, and especially in that offense. But George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, I mean, George Pickens has been on an absolute tear of late. I mean, he has been the Pittsburgh Steelers could really be using George Pickens right now. The fact that they traded him away, like they got to have buyers. Well, he was a knucklehead.
Yeah. Also, we got Tommy Callahan on the Facebook. Tommy Callahan the third. He's questioning my Derrick Henry at number 1. Hey, Tommy, where would you have Derrick Henry if you were putting together fantasy football rankings? I got Derrick Henry at number 1. I'd be curious to see where you got him. I think that offense is going to have a big day against Cincinnati. Start all your Ravens. So, but I appreciate the comment, man. I appreciate it. I'll stand by Derrick Henry at number 1. I stand by.
So, yeah, Chris Olave, 13 targets, 9 catches, 70 yards. He was missing a touchdown. I think last week last week I think it was like 16 points. In our league, it equated to like 16 fantasy points, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. But yeah, Chris Olave has been getting a lot of that's obviously Tyler Shucks.
Chris Olave had 16 points in my league. He had 9 catches for 70 yards. He also had 13 targets in that game.
Yeah,
he's basically the only one that Tyler.
It's the only one Tyler Shuck is looking at. Him and Jawan Johnson. Yeah. And then at number 10, AJ Brown, who him and he was getting. He's looked miserable all season. But last week he shouldn't have been miserable because he had 8 catches, 110 yards. He had a touchdown. I mean, you couldn't get more, targets than what he's got.
25 fantasy points for AJ Brown last week.
He should be all smiles. But he's not. Even in wins, he just looks miserable for some reason. But yeah, in the loss, he was definitely miserable. But yeah, I got him in my top 10. And I'm outside looking in. T-Mac, Tataro McMillan. Tataroa. Yeah, you're right. I should get that right because I've been high on T. I just call him T-Mac, bro. I mean,
that's cool.
I've been high on.
It flows right off the tongue. It flows. Tataroa.
Okay, I've been high on Tataroa McMillan for 2 years now since he's been when he was at Arizona, and the kid has translated his game into the NFL flawlessly with the Carolina Panthers. 2 games in a row touchdowns. The one against last week against San Francisco was a thing of beauty. It was a beautiful route. So it was a little skinny post route, in the seam to break on it. I mean, he just literally just had that defender on skates. So yeah, he's on the outside looking in. Nico Collins and then Lab McConkey. And my cheap option in FanDuel on Turkey Day at 5,700 is Xavier Worthy. I know he's dealing with some injuries, lingering injury, but everybody is around this time. He was a limited participant in practice this week. But he should be good by game day.
He should be good to go.
He should be good. He should be good by game day. And especially like Hollywood Brown. I mean, he got 1 catch last week. I expect Xavier Worthy to be kind of all over the field, especially against Dallas. And then at 5,700, I'm rolling with John Mechie. Good call last week on John Mechie.
Yeah.
Because actually, that's who the wide receiver I was thinking about. I picked up John Mechie, and I started him against AJ. Or not in AJ's league, I'm sorry. And he did pretty damn good for me this week. I'm not sure. I might have started. Did I start him against you? I might have been against you too.
I don't remember.
John Metz, I used the information that you gave on this show, possibly against you. Possibly against you. No, I didn't use him against you. It was definitely in AJ's league, but that was a big pickup for me. And so John Mechie, he's looking, I mean, especially with Garrett Wilson out on IR until further notice. He's probably gonna be shut down the rest of the season.
They probably will play him next season. I can't imagine they're gonna try to throw him out there.
John Mechie's the guy. Roll with him.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on from the wide receivers. I love the Tedero McMillan. I should probably have him in my rankings somewhere, but I just don't. Moving on from the wide receivers to the bulkier pass catchers. Let's talk about tight ends. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, tight ends, top 5 kind of been the same all year, man. Yeah, Trey McBride, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren. I mean, however you want to put him. I mean, George Kittle, he's just been money since he's come back. I mean, last week, he was having a really good game last week, despite, this guy, Brock Purdy throwing 3 interceptions. But George Kittle was getting targeted often. And then, obviously Travis Kelce, he's, around this time of the season, I mean, he looks a lot better than what he did last season. I'll say that. And then Brock Bowers, I mean, that offense is just abysmal. Golly, Pete Carroll. I mean, you thought Geno Smith just does not look good at all this season. Brock Bowers, he doesn't look healthy either. I mean, he's just trying to kind of get back healthy. It just seems like he doesn't have the same explosiveness as he did last season. Then number 6, we got Rondé Gatson, LA Chargers going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. That should be, a pretty decent game for him, especially, with how bad that defense has been. I mean, golly, you got to look at what Shedeur Sanders, even if they would have opened up the offense, I mean, he had some big plays, right? Some wide open guys, Jerry Jeudy, despite the fumble, wide open. I mean, the all-out blitz where Shedeur throws 55 yards. I mean, those plays are Justin Herbert is going to absolutely annihilate that defense. Okay, so I like Rondé Gatson. Number 7, Jawan Johnson, who started out the season hot a little bit, and then recently had now last week it was he had the targets, had the catches, just was missing the touchdown, right? Against Carolina, Los Angeles Rams. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns in a row, but he's looking like a guy that Tyler Shook's looking at as well, along with Chris Olave. So I look at Jawan Johnson as a top 10 tight end this week. Number 8, I got Mark Andrews. 9.
He's had at least 4 targets in the last 5 games, and he's had a touchdown in 2 of the last 3.
So I'm high on Jawan Johnson, especially with Tyler Shea. And I'm surprised, man. I mean, I was one of those guys like, man, Tyler Shea, and I liked him at Louisville. I mean, I thought he was cute at Louisville. I thought Louisville's a real spread offense, pass-centric offense. He's throwing it damn near 40 times there. But I'm actually impressed with the kid since he's taken over at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, he's not bad at all. And he knows how to find his primetime players in the passing game. And number 8, I got Mark Andrews. 9, Jake Ferguson. And then, right on my top 10, I got Dalton Schultz, Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, who has, last week was terrible.
Not a good day at the office whatsoever.
Last week was terrible, but the 2 weeks before that, 9 catches, 20 targets, 20. We'll go with 24 targets over the last 3 games. I expect him to possibly have a bounce back game this week. Let me go get Dalton Schultz against Indianapolis as a top 10 fantasy tight end this week. And then round out the outside looking in, I got Hunter Henry, Colston Loveland, who's, man, surprisingly, I mean, he's been all right, man. He's been all right this year for even with Cole Kmet back.
He's been there all right the last like 3 weeks. He's been all right. I mean, most of the season he's been pretty irrelevant. But
the first half of the season, I expected it. In the offense, I expected him to have not have a big place. But now we're starting to see him kind of get more comfortable in Ben Johnson's offense. He had a touchdown last week. A few weeks ago, he had 2 touchdowns with over 118 yards against Cincinnati, including the big one, the game-winning touchdown, right? And so, in the last couple of weeks, I mean, he had the touchdown last week. I mean, he was only missing a touchdown. We're in top 10 fantasy land right there for Colston Loveland when, against the Giants in Minnesota. I expect against Philly that he still gets the yardage, still gets those, nice little chunk plays. I mean, what is he averaging per catch? Over, 12, 13 yards per catch.
Over the last 5 weeks, he's averaging about 15 yards per catch.
It's looking really good for him.
If that math
looking
is good, which it might not
be. And then on Turkey Day, my cheap option in FanDuel is at 4,800 is Isaiah Likely on Thursday. I expect Isaiah. I mean, I know he hasn't been really good, but against Cincinnati, I mean, you can make the backups look good on offense. So I expect Isaiah Likely in the red zone, he get a touchdown, baby. I mean, that's if you can go cheapski on the tight end and maybe put some money elsewhere. Yeah, go with Isaiah Likely against Cincinnati. And then at 4,800, on the Sunday slate, I got Kobe Parkinson, who has been pretty solid the last couple weeks. For the Rams. I think he has 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm going Kobe Parkinson again, see if he continues that touchdown streak this week against Carolina, which should be an up and down game, at least for the Rams.
I mean, let's hope so. Kobe Parkinson, 3 touchdowns in 3 straight weeks. 4 catches, 41 yards and a tutty, 2 for 14 and a tutty, 5 for 41 and a touchdown. So I like that call, actually. That's nice. Moving on from your tight ends, let's talk about mine. I got number 1. I got Brock Bowers. Maybe I'm way too high on Brock Bowers. Maybe I'm just kind of infatuated with the name, what he did last season, what he did earlier a couple of weeks ago, where he was like, I think he had damn near 30 fantasy points. He came back down to earth a little bit against Cleveland last week. Whatever way they played the Jacksonville Jaguars a couple weeks ago, he had a monster fantasy day. So, Brock Bowers at number 1, 2, Trey McBride. Those are the 2 guys that are like the future of the tight end position. George Kittle has been awesome since Brock Purdy's been come back and since he got healthy. 4, Mark Andrews. Just seems to catch a touchdown every single week. And I like what they're doing with Mark Andrews. I think you might be too low on Mark Andrews. That's just my honest opinion. 5, Tyler Warren. Had a really good day against the Kansas City Chiefs. Just needed a touchdown to really solidify him into top 5 tight end scoring for that particular week. 6, Travis Kelce, also just reliable there. 7, Randy Gadsden, avoided a major injury. Many people thought he might be done for the season. Played the next week, coming off the bye, able to get healthy. I am concerned that the tight end position for the Chargers may have to block, given what this offensive line has gone through this season. But Gadsden is a really valuable pass catcher for this football team. 8, Hunter Henry, 25 fantasy points last week. Do not sleep on Hunter Henry. Number 9, Kyle Pitts Sr. I don't know if maybe Kirk Cousins is back in the lineup. He's just not going to be involved in the passing game. But Drake London is out. Somebody needs to step up. It can't be all Darnell Mooney. They don't have anybody else. It's got to be Kyle Pitts. That's why I take him in the top 10 of drafts. Number 10, Dallas Goedert, needs to get a touchdown, needs to be more involved in the Philadelphia Eagles pass attack. Probably what happened against the Dallas Cowboys. Just not enough Dallas Goedert. And then my outside looking in, I got Bobby Schultz's cousin and former Dallas Goedert teammate. Actually, all 3 of these guys used to be teammates. Dallas Goedert, Dalton Schultz, and Jake Ferguson all played on the Dallas Cowboys at one point or another a couple years ago. Were teammates, and then they traded away Dallas Goedert, and then Dalton Schultz left in free agency. Now Jake Ferguson is the one left behind. But all 3 of those guys have good fantasy value and have good matchups for this upcoming week. And then my number 3 guy, Theo Johnson. Like maybe people thought he was going to fall off a little bit with Jameis Winston being under center. It has not happened. Theo Johnson has been a really solid fantasy tight end this season. And if you're somebody who picked him up off waivers when he got that first touchdown game early in the season, you've just been riding him. He's been excellent this year. And then my sneaky and daily hit with DraftKings is Izzy's guy, Harold Fanning Jr. at 3,400. David Njoku may come back for that matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, but I like Harold Fanning Jr., and I know you're high on Harold Fanning Jr. For the Cleveland Browns.
I like Harold Fanning Jr. Going back to what you said about Mark Andrews, I kind of agree and I don't agree. The one thing about Mark Andrews is he's been very touchdown dependent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like he's not getting
he's not getting a ton of yards.
Getting the yards. But he's in super touchdown dependent. I mean, the week before, he didn't even have a receiving touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown for 35 yards or something like that. So if he's not getting in the end zone, he's having pedestrian numbers for you. But against Cincinnati, that's you're actually absolutely right. He should possibly be higher. I just don't want to take that risk at putting them as a top 5 guy outside of those top 5 guys.
A terrible defense in Cincinnati. I'm rolling the dice with Mark Andrews this week.
You want to put him in you got him in the top 5, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't want to take them. I don't want to mess with those top 5 guys that I've been rolling with pretty much all season. And then to put Mark Andrews in there, and he's been touchdown dependent. I got him on the outside of that top 5. Still top 10 guy though.
Yeah.
Touchdown, I think, this week.
Moving on from the tight ends, let's swing over onto the other side of the football. Let's talk about defense. I got the Seattle Seahawks at number 1, going up against a bad offense. Hold on, I can't remember where they're playing now. My memory is not as good as I'd like it to be. They're going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Bit of a revenge game for Sam Darnold in that one. 2, the Denver Broncos going up against the Commanders and Marcus Mariota. Los Angeles Rams going up against the Carolina Panthers. We've seen what this defense can do against the Tampa Buccaneers last week. I expect similar problems for the Panthers going up against this front 7 of the Rams. Chargers going up against the Las Vegas Raiders, who have one of the worst offenses in the NFL right now. Number 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward. And then my outside looking in, I got the New England Patriots playing on Monday night against the New York Giants. Houston Texans, because I just can't leave them out of my top 10. This defense has been too good this season. I know they're going up against a high-powered offense in the Colts, but we've seen some chinks in that offense and that armor over the last couple weeks. I'll take the Houston Texans at number 7, and then the Atlanta Falcons at number 3, going up against the New York Jets and Tyrod Taylor, who will be under center for that football team. They just haven't looked good on offense whatsoever. And Atlanta still has a solid defense. I mean, James Pierce, those 2 rookies there for the Falcons have been really good this season so far, actually. It's too bad it's going to end in a lost season for the Falcons. And then my sneaky and daily, 2,900 for the Houston Texans. That's really cheap for a defense. It's a top 5 unit in terms of yards. They might be the best unit in the NFL right now in terms of yards per game and points allowed, because they've made everybody they've played so far this season look pedestrian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 1, the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, going up against the who are they going against? I don't have it up here right now for me, but I think it's not a real favorable match. I think it might be the Vikings.
So they're going whoever is that quarterback that is going to be under center for the Vikings
is going to have a really rough time. Yeah. Max
Brosmer is the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
So when it comes to my rule with fantasy, if your rookie quarterback hasn't got up to speed, they're gonna have a bad week, right? So Seahawks going against an undrafted rookie.
He's not exactly going up again. He didn't exactly go to a powerhouse when it comes to the university that he went to, at least from the quarterback position.
Where'd he go?
He went to Minnesota.
Oh, you want to, Oh, okay. Oh, I know exactly where. He's not good. He's the backup quarterback. He's a super duper backup. But I mean, he was a starter at Minnesota. But yeah, now that name.
He played one season at University of North New Hampshire. Yeah,
Okay,
or do
yeah,
it.
let's just, it's gonna be a bad day for him. Chargers just off of GP, off of General Principle, going up against the Las Vegas Raiders and how bad that defense has been. I'm going with the Chargers. Number 3, the Jacksonville Jaguars, going up against rolling the dice, right? No, rolling the drum, pounding the drums. They're going against a rookie quarterback who, Cam Ward. Still throwing it across the field.
With no Calvin Ridley and like there's just no weapons whatsoever. And
yeah, they even brought Xavier Restrepo, his old college teammate, up for the practice squad. He had like 2 catches last week or something like that, but he's still like that offense is just terrible. And then at number 4, we got the Patriots going up against the Giants. I think Jackson Dart starting.
It looks like because of all the projections, they have Jackson Dart hitting points like with fantasy points. We talked about this before. I've seen enough out of Jackson Dart. I don't need to see him play again this season.
Just throw Jameis out there. I don't understand what they're doing. If they start him, it's stupid. I got the New England Patriots. They've been playing great football anyways. They started out the season, 1, 2? They've won
Jackson
9.
Dart was a full participant in practice today, so I can't imagine he'll play.
He'll play. The Patriots started at 1-2, David.
Yeah.
They've reeled off 9 straight.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I actually think they were 0-2 and then they won 10 in a row.
Was it 10 in a row? I thought it was 1-2 and then they reeled off 9 in a row. It's crazy. I didn't expect that to happen this year with the Patriots. At number 5, we got the Denver Broncos. Yes, going up against the Washington.
You were right. They won 9 in a row.
Yeah, against the Washington Commanders, who is Marcus Mariota is going out there. Denver's going to have a field day against them. And then on my outside looking in, I got the Rams, the Niners, and the Dolphins going up against Tyler Shuck, or however you pronounce his name, Tyler Shuck. I used to call him Tyler Shaw. I used to call him Tyler Shaw in the show. And then David's like the name. David's like, if everybody who watches this show for the last few years, David's like the name concierge. Like he gets all the names right. For some reason, I don't know what he does.
TJ's on that stuff too. So.
Yeah, TJ's a name concierge too. He gets all the names right. When they make it to the pros, he gets all the names right. Me and Christian, we just butcher their names in college for some reason.
Tyler Shook, it rhymes with that other word that you can't say on this channel.
Oh yeah, so the Niners going up against Cleveland. Honestly, I'm interested to see. I mean, Shador Sanders going up against the Niners, a veteran defense in San Francisco 49ers. I mean, you're going against the Raiders. They're terrible. I do not know. I do not know how that's going to go. So I got to go with the 49ers. And then the Rams have been just absolutely pretty damn good. And I didn't like what I saw out of Carolina last week. Their offense just did not look good. They could not run the football like they wanted to. Or Rico Dowdle. It's tough sledding for them this week against the Rams. And then on Turkey Day at 4,600, I think out of all the teams, they're the top team, the top defense, the most expensive defense on Thursday. But I think if you're going to put some points in on a defense, go with the Ravens. You can probably, save some money elsewhere on some other players on Turkey Day. But, go with the Ravens, 4,600. I think they're a must start against Cincinnati, in my opinion. I mean, one hit on Joe Burrow, he's out of the game. I mean, that turf toe injury ain't nothing to play with. It's basically a damn near fractured, broken toe that you're playing with. And it's not fun when you get any type of hit on you. And then I'm also interested to see, what he's going to look like in terms of the fabric of the offense, like in terms of like how because he hasn't really been getting reps, out there this season. I know it's Joe Burrow, but how's he going to look after being off the, on the shelf for, majority of the season, right? Against the Ravens defense that has been playing really good football the last month and a half or so, healthy. They're flying all over the field. No T. Higgins. Yeah, I like the Ravens as like a must start in FanDuel. And then at 3,900, surprisingly, I got the Cleveland Browns on the other end, right?
I mean, that defense has been the reason they're winning games is because of that defense.
Brock Purdy threw 3 interceptions last week. Yeah, so I have to go with Cleveland. Myles Garrett, the protection issues on that offensive line for Niners. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is going to have a lot of room to run. I think they're going to have to they're going to be forced to throw. I think they're going to, Brock Purdy he's turned the ball over since he's gotten back he had the one game, but he's got 4 interceptions since he's become a starter, right? Because he had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception in the debut. He had 3 interceptions last week. I forget how many touchdowns did he have last week, David? He had like 1 or 2.
I think he just threw 1.
I think he just won. So it was like 4. He's got 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The 4 interceptions are really alarming to me. 3,900. Myles Garrett's on the other side. Oh my God. Give me the Cleveland Browns.
Since he returned, he's got 4 touchdowns and 3 picks in the 2 games.
4 touchdowns, 3 picks. Yeah, and the 3 picks all came against Carolina.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go, Cleveland.
Before we get up out of here like we do every week, this one will be a little bit easier. At least the first guy will. Do you know who the top 5 scorers in fantasy were this week?
Well, this week we already know who number. We called him out. Jahmyr Gibbs was number 1.
It was. Do you remember how many points Jahmyr Gibbs had?
Jahmyr Gibbs had like almost 50. He had 48 something for me.
In 55.4. Do you know who the other 4 guys in the top 5 were? You should know who at least one of them was for sure.
It's got to be Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, number 3, 32.24 fantasy points.
The other one's got to be JSN.
JSN, number 2, 37.1 fantasy points.
37.1. Number 4, number 5. Are these a little bit easier for me, or are they going to be a little harder?
I think one of them you should definitely get. It's your guy. And then you may not get the other one, the 5th guy.
Is it? You said it's my guy.
Yeah, your guy. It's your guy.
Not on my team. Is it on my team?
No, your guy, man. It's your guy. This is your guy. You were like the higher on this guy before anybody else was. And then
my bad. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, yes.
Number 4 is Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
30.86 fantasy points. A virtuoso, if you will.
Jalen Hurts, Mr. Virtuoso. Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm going to go George Pickens is 5th.
George Pickens at number 7 with 29.6 fantasy points. You mentioned the 5th guy earlier in the show.
He was a wide receiver?
Yeah.
No. It's not Amon-Ra because George Pickens has a better.
Amon-Ra, number 6, 29.9 fantasy points.
Wow.
This is a guy that you started in a league over someone else. And
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale Robinson at number 5, 30.6 fantasy points. A stellar day at the office. And if you just want to round out the top 10, Chris McCaffrey, Dak Prescott, Emmanuel Wilson making his first NFL start. Got 26.5, and then A.J. Brown at the number 10 position. Let's talk about week number 13. Who will be the number 1 scorer in fantasy when it's all said and done?
Week 13. Let me go Devon Achane. Let me go with Devon Achane.
I'm going to go Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen bounces back after a pretty pedestrian game against Houston. I think he pulls out all the stops against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're only a couple weeks removed from him having 6 touchdowns combined. I don't think he's going to have 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 rushing. That's my prediction there. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us here at Prime Sports World. This has been our fantasy football weekly show. This is our rankings for week number 13. Hopefully this has gotten you guys into the fantasy football playoffs, or on the verge of the fantasy football playoffs, depending on your league. We just want to say a big happy Thanksgiving from everybody here at Prime Sports World. I know we started the show with this, but let's start it up, end it with it as well. Have a good Thanksgiving to everybody who watches Prime Sports World. And happy Thanksgiving to you, Izzy. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Happy Thanksgiving to TJ and Christian, all you guys. Hopefully you just enjoy a good weekend of football. This has been Prime Sports World. I'm David Huffman. That's Israel Rivera. You got any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, man. Absolutely, man. You guys, once you guys Eat that. Hey, look, Thanksgiving food is only good past what?
Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. Throw that shit out once it's past Sunday. Throw that shit out, man. All right, that's all I gotta say. Anyways, have a happy Thanksgiving and watch some football, some good football.
And let's not forget what we do here at the Prime, my friend.
We bring the heat, and it's cold as hell out here, man. And I know you got some heat down there. I mean, it's always nice and warm in sunny California. So
yeah, out
here
I was driving.
You're in Northern California, though. Yeah, it's expected, brother. That's expected. But out here it's cold. It's dropped down into the teens.
I'm driving with my windows open. Let's go.
I'm not driving with my windows open. Not driving with my windows.
We'll be back here next week, breaking down week number 13. Also, help you get your lineups set up for week number 14. Take it easy. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Peace out, brother.
Peace out, guys.